What's up, everybody? It's Man of Low Moral Fiber here. My name's Luke, and welcome to episode 7 of my OP8 Melee Zer0 playthrough. In this episode, we will be delivering the claptrap upgrade that we got in the last episode out in the Wildlife Exploitation Preserve. We'll be delivering that to Claptrap right now. Then we'll go talk to Roland. Then we'll take Roland's note out to Brick to recruit him to our forces, dealing with his trials and then some obstacles after meeting with Brick along the way. And then we'll return to Sanctuary, come back to the Crimson Raider HQ, and then be heading on to Opportunity. So right now, we're going to utilize some grenade jumps in order to get up to Roland a little bit quicker. I almost forgot my note that I was supposed to grab there. That would have been bad. I was trying to use a few grenade jumps in order to make it a little bit more speedy. That Sanctuary resident kind of trolled me there. He got in the way of my grenade jump. I was going to try to jump through that doorway, but he was directly in the way there. You don't have to wait for any of these characters to stop talking in this particular section. You can travel right to the Highlands Hyperion Bridge, and you'll be right next to Thousand Cuts that way. Now, in order to perform a grenade jump, you just unequip your grenade mod, and then jump near the grenade right when the explosion is happening, and you will get propelled in, the direction you are opposite from the grenade. So what I'm going to do now is blow up some of these barrels out in Thousand Cuts before I really try to melee any enemies in there, because I don't want to go down to barrel damage. That guy stripped my shield, and that worked out pretty well. Blew me forward a little bit, and I executed to the Ironclad Lunatic. Wasn't really killing any guys until this little guy, just trying to move quickly, not worry too much about what's behind me, considering these guys will disappear actually once the brick events start, because it has to make room for the loaders to come down. So I'm not really too worried about killing any of these guys for any purpose other than safety and follow-through bonuses. If I have to kill an enemy like now in order to survive, I'll definitely do that, because one, it will grant us a follow-through bonus and will be definitely a lot safer. Follow-through actually gives a significant movement speed bonus when wearing the legendary Ninja Com. That's the main improvement from the legendary Ninja from Shadow Ninja, in my opinion. Obviously, the boost to Ambush is also very welcome, and Resurgence can actually come in pretty handy as well. But what I was most excited for was obviously the follow-through bonus. In fact, while mobbing at level 61, I ordinarily used a Stalker Com just because it boosted follow-through, and I didn't really need a backstab bonus for most situations, most average mobbing back then. Enemies weren't quite as tough, obviously, without the overpower level damage reductions. Obviously, I was still using a Ninja Com for situations where I did need a lot of damage, like bosses, for example. So now we're working through Brick's trials here, or it's kind of just one trial. He has you run through a bunch of slabs, not slags, in this little section before he allows you to even really talk to him or meet with you. I guess he only wants to talk to tough people, and he doesn't want any weak slabs joining his gang, excuse me. But he does have, a myriad of little lunatics that are apparently in his gang, and they're not even tough enough to survive the height of Terramorphous Nova. So apparently a lot of people have made it through this little gauntlet. I'm not sure. It was funny to me, though, that, you're trying to recruit Brick and the slabs help, and you're literally killing all these slabs. I just, found it was kind of funny, and obviously the sarcastic slab at the conclusion of this is pretty funny as well. With these ultimate badass marauders, when using Melee Zer0, you have to watch out to make sure that they don't have a Nova shield, because like this guy did, some of them have Nova shields, which will cause a damage over time to you, and that's very dangerous at overpower level 8, kind of hard to recover your health when you have the 8 levels higher than you damage over time applied. So I definitely strip their shields from a distance, probably, and try not to be within the radius when their shields do go off. If their shields do go off, you should focus all of your attention on trying to survive with the Grog Nozzle and either grenades or melee. Now we're to the section that's basically pretty easy. It's just a whole bunch of these little lunatics and a few bone crushers and then a few Goliaths. But it's very easy after you get past the first part with those badass marauders. The main thing to worry about in this area is the barrels. You'll probably have noticed that when I came in here, I spent a little bit of time to pop all of those barrels. Now I'm going to kill all these little lunatics, basically, with my Hide of Terramorphous Nova, and concentrate my executes on the Goliath and taking out the rest of the little lunatics, even though there aren't that many left. A few more little lunatics. Pretty long mini-must fall chain in reality. It ended on that Goliath there. But that's okay, because there aren't too many Goliaths left, and when you have a long mini-must fall chain, your deception will recharge very quickly. Go ahead and finish off these last Goliaths and these last two little lunatics here. Or three, I guess, because there was one that came down with the last Goliath, but he died to my kunai spam, and we were able to finish this little section, and now we will meet with Brick. If you didn't know, when Goliath helmets are on the floor, you can actually shoot them and move them around a little bit, which is kind of funny. If they die slagged, sometimes they say slagged, like that one did there. So, I'm pretty sure most people kind of saw this coming when they were playing. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call. Because, you know, you'd already met the other three Vault Hunters up until this point, and it was pretty obvious from him talking that this was going to be Brick and not some character we hadn't met yet. So, it was still cool to see Brick, though. Brick was probably my second favorite character to play from the first Borderlands. I really enjoyed Mordecai and Brick. Well, actually, I enjoyed Roland and Lilith quite a bit, too. I liked all the characters, you know, quite a bit. But Brick had a special place because he was just so goofy and over the top with his explosive build and everything. It was fun to play. This section here is kind of irritating to me. I don't understand why we have to wait for Brick to walk to the door at slower than any person has ever walked speed. But, you know, it doesn't matter. I guess they were trying to fit that dialogue in while he was walking towards the door, but it doesn't play until he gets to the door, which is kind of silly to me. I don't really understand that at all. I don't really like sections where I have to do a lot of waiting. I'd rather be playing, personally. But I'll spend this time to just kind of jump on Brick's head and stuff. There's nothing really else to do in here. You can go check. There's a little chest up there. But, you know, it's not any more special than any other chest, so I'm not really too interested in checking it out right now. However, I did get some good items from that when I was lower level and everything. If you're on your first playthrough and you're on your way to Bunker, I'd probably check it because you might get a good corrosive weapon in there. Bunker's not too tough, but, you know, a good corrosive weapon will definitely make it easier. If you're playing with Zero and you've spec'd into Bore by this point, though, you don't really have to worry about any of that, and when I get to Bunker, I assume I'll just bore him. Haven't got that far yet, but I plan on finishing that here pretty soon, so it's actually the next part I have to do, obviously, because I've already done the opportunity part. I just haven't decided to go ahead and upload that particular episode yet. Try to space the episodes out a little bit so that no one gets too bored of them. And I try to keep them around 10 to 15 minutes. I think that's an appropriate length. What I was doing there with the Norfleet was going ahead and bursting the barrels because I didn't want to have to deal with these barrels while I have to melee these loaders and avoid these targeting circles. Spend the time while I'm waiting for Brick to lower the shield on the mortar beacon to go ahead and break some more barrels. There's a large propane barrel right to the left of me right now that I'm apparently ignoring for some reason, but I definitely should have popped that before these next loaders are coming. That was definitely a mistake I made. And because of that, I will just go up to the little porch platform instead of meleeing this one down here first. I guess it's a gasoline tank, not a propane tank. Sometimes the fire damage over time on an enemy can spread to you if you melee it while it's on fire, and so I try to avoid that when I can. Use the Norfleet for a little extra damage, take out these bots a little bit quicker, push this one into killing low a lot quicker, and then I'll go ahead and finish off this one over here. One more bot now, and then we can move on to the second targeting beacon. I thought this mission was pretty cool. Of all the times you fight alongside an ally, this one was kind of the coolest. Brick doesn't do too much damage, but he just kind of punches the bots around, and I enjoyed the whole aspect of dodging the mortar beacons and everything. I wish there weren't so many damn barrels in 1,000 Cuts, but, you know, such is the way of the 1,000 Cuts, I guess. Definitely irritating to run through this area trying to melee enemies because there are as many barrels here as there are anywhere else in the game, I'd imagine. Bloodshot Stronghold has quite a few as well, depending on the room. So now we're going to try to take out these loaders now. Unfortunately, we have a buzzard in the sky who's not opposed to shooting at us, and we'll have to watch out for that, because the buzzard can definitely kill you from above, and that's no good at all. Go ahead and use the Norfleet to lower this ion loader's shield and deal a lot of damage to these loaders that I wasn't able to melee while they were protected. Go ahead and finish these guys off now. Looks like there's an exploder there. Brick will take care of that because he's tanky enough it doesn't affect him, and also just because he's an invincible AI character. But lore-wise, I guess Brick is tanky enough that the loader doesn't bother him. He's got one more enemy to take out over there, but he finished him off, so that was pretty cool. And now we are going to go down here and defeat the last beacon. And once you do that, an ultimate badass loader will spawn. Multiple ultimate badass loaders will spawn if you were playing in co-op mode as opposed to single player. But when playing single player, only one enemy will spawn after this. And so we are very close to going ahead and working our way back to Sanctuary. Go ahead and get slag on this ultimate badass loader, and then I'll get a kunai stack on it and get a good backstab on it that will go ahead and finish it off. Excellent. Now we can head on back to Sanctuary, and then we should be moving on to Opportunity. So if you guys haven't yet, please take the time to subscribe. I'd really appreciate that as well. If you haven't watched any of the other episodes, I'll leave links to those in the description. Otherwise, I do thank you guys very much for watching. I do appreciate it. So right now, I got a cool grenade jump, got up to Roland a lot faster. I actually didn't know I could execute that grenade jump, but it worked out really well. Don't wait for any of this dialogue here, and just head on back to the teleporter, and then once again, travel to the Hyperion Bridge Highlands fast travel location, and then summon a car and drive on into Opportunity. Alright guys, that will be the end of this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye guys.